Without keys, let's bypass the immobilizer with relay hacking and reprogram it for new keys. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about how to bypass an immobilizer. This guide details a method for hacking and bypassing the ECU engine control unit to program the immobilizer for new keys. This may become necessary if all your original keys have been misplaced or when exchanging your ECUs. Either scenario would necessitate bypassing the immobilizer with relay or programming new ones onto each ECU, and that is why I am walking you through the steps on exactly how to bypass immobilizer without key, and even touched on how to bypass immobilizer with relay. Typically, taking your car to a dealership would cost far more. In this tutorial, we will hack into our ECU to clear its codes and put it into an auto-programming mode that accepts new key configurations automatically. So before we get started, let's look at what immobilizer bypass means. What is immobilizer bypass? You know, a car immobilizer is a security guard for your vehicle. It's a chip in the ECU that stops the car engine from starting unless you've got the right key program with the car. So if someone breaks into your car, they can't hotwire it and drive off with the immobilizer functioning properly. Now, an immobilizer bypass is anything, method, or procedure used in disabling the feature of the chips in the ECU. Typically, this can be by removing the immobilizer chips, or by the use of an electronic component, a piece of hardware or software to bypass or disable the immobilizer in a vehicle and enabling the car engine to start without using its key. These bypass modules are commonly installed when installing remote starters, since these must also start the car without physical keys present. But note that immobilizer bypassing may also be used maliciously to start up cars without authorization, effectively stealing them. And so, I hope this video is not enabling you as a thief. Therefore, bypassing an immobilizer without proper permission or for illegal reasons may have serious legal consequences. How to bypass immobilizer and program new keys for your car. To demonstrate, I will install a new ECU in my car and make my existing keys inoperable. So before any modification to your ECU is attempted, always disconnect its battery first. Most cars' ECU can usually be found behind their glove box under the steering wheel. Once located, open it and disconnect all 5 electrical connectors on its rear that connects to the ECU. When inserting an unfamiliar or brand new key into the ignition, its security light won't go off because it doesn't match up to ECU requirements immobilizer with relay programming, and any attempts at starting the car will result in engine cranking. Before we go any further, let's briefly review how the immobilizer system in your car operates. How the immobilizer system works. When placing the key into its ignition ring, an embedded coil captures an RFID signal and transmits it to a transponder key amplifier, which decodes it for transmission to ECU. ECU has an EPROM chip that stores key values. After matching, the car can start up. Setup involves an ignition ring equipped with coil and chip key. Signals from this setup are transmitted to a transponder key amplifier, which in turn sends signals directly to ECU for processing. Each key contains its own RFID chip, containing RFID chips, which interact with each other as an electrical current passes through them. Newer vehicles feature amplifiers that direct signals first to a transponder ECU that stores keys before passing them to the ECU for processing. This system was implemented because replacing ECUs can be expensive in case keys become misplaced. Hence, using cheaper transponder ECUs allows replacement keys without breaking the bank. For these vehicles, however, replacing keys involves performing an expensive procedure. Most steps remain unchanged, with just minor variations being that handshaking needs to take place between each one in order to program keys properly. After unscrewing and extracting the ECU from its mount in your car, the next step should be opening it by unscrewing. Unscrewing will expose its circuit board, which we need to extract from its housing. An 8-pin chip, IC900, should then be located so we can connect to our computer via this connection cable. Solder wires to connect our computers to chips is one method used for connecting chips directly. A chip clip could make programming simpler. However, making direct contact was too challenging, leading me to go with soldering wires instead. After setting up my EPROM chip programming circuit, which included plugging it directly into my serial port of my computer, while connected by resistors of 4.7K ohm resistance and 5-volt Zener diodes to its chip. I programmed my EPROM chip successfully. Utilizing an EPROM reader, I retrieved all of the contents from a chip. Each key in its dump represents by an 8-digit hex value repeated 3 times. To prepare our ECU to accept new keys, it is necessary to clear away all existing values of key parameters and assign zeros where applicable before writing this new configuration directly onto its chip and installing back into its case. Now we can install our new ECU into the car along with its accompanying dashboard cluster to view its security light necessary for programming new keys. Programming involves inserting and removing each new key while monitoring its status. When done successfully, the auto-programming light should illuminate to show us when programming is complete. At last, your immobilizer has been successfully modified to recognize new keys if they have been misplaced or switched ECUs. And there you have it, guys. We've just covered the nitty-gritty of how to bypass Immobilizer and have gone through the steps on exactly how to bypass Immobilizer without key. I hope you like this video. Please share, like, and subscribe to our channel. I will see you in my next video. Bye.